Go home, You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys 0-16 because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. And instead of me like just rambling on, for half an hour or so, whatever, it's nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean the world to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, you will find 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook links takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. Basically, I say this in every video. My YouTube channel, Facebook group, and Facebook pages, like all called the same thing. That way, more on like me, I can remember. I don't have, what's my YouTube channel? What's the Facebook page called? Is the group called something different than the page? It's all called the same thing. That way, I can remember. Let's see, what are we at? We're holding tight. We have over 3,500 members in the group. We reached 3,500 members. I believe it was like last week sometime. And basically what it is as soon as I get done here, I'll spend like the next couple hours just putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in a minute. And not only do I put stuff in here, but if you become a member, the members post stuff in here as well. I try to get it, up to like about 10 things or so a day in here if I can. Usually sometimes in the off season, it's a little difficult, but I try to get as much stuff in here as I can, whether it's a video, a post, a picture, just something showing some stats of a player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? I put it in here. It's, so there's a ton of stuff, Giant stuff going in here every day. And then if you go to the second Facebook link, it takes you to my Facebook page. All right. It's the page. It's basically the same thing, the New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page. I'm the administrator. I'm the only one to post anything in there. But, it's the same thing. There's a ton of stuff I put in here every day. And I try to get up to like 10 things or so every day in there. Once again, whether it's a video, a post, a picture, something showing some stats, something showing, once again, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, whatever I said, those are my personal favorites. What do we got? We have over 1,500 people who like it. We have over 5,300 people who are following the page right now. Okay? And basically, I don't commingle this stuff. So basically, for the most part, whatever I put on the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I try to keep them separate, right? So I said, every now and then, I said, the reason why I'm put on this planet is to make fun of the Philadelphia Eagles. And if I see something really, really juicy and really makes fun of the Eagles, I just want to spread it with everybody, right? So I might put it in the page and in the group. But other than that, I just try to keep the stuff, I just try to keep it separate. So I said, so if you go to the page and you like and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day, 7 days a week. And like I say in all the videos, right? If you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, all that stuff said and done and all that, out of the way with today. Every game just got big. Every Giant game just got big. Every Giant game is big. Every Giant game. Absolutely. You got that right. All right. Well, I see the dead the dead cap money. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a shame. That's where that dead cap can, a lot of teams kick the can down the road. I know the Eagles are really good at that. That's one of the reasons why sometimes they have such a great roster, because they like to, kick money down the road. Shane doesn't, apparently doesn't, trying to like avoid that. We got a big, we're taking a big hit, with the Golladay contract. He obviously is the top, the top dead money man. Just think. He is, what do we got? $14.7 million in dead cap money for Kenny Golladay. This is from Giants Wire. The Giants continue to overhaul the roster in year 2 under GM Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll. They've added several big pieces this offseason to go along with a solid haul in the 2023 NFL Draft. Where things currently stand, the Giants have just $3.82 million in salary cap space, which is 6th least in the NFL. However, a potential long-term deal for running back Saquon Barkley remains possible, as do potential extensions. Said possible extensions to Leonard Williams or Adoree Jackson, or adjustments to the contracts. I don't know about that. I don't know. Just put them in here like they want to let Leonard Williams maybe work out this, do the season and reevaluate him after this, instead of like maybe just, throwing a contract in, because he was injured last year. Let's see, can he stay healthy this year? Because if he can't stay healthy this year, if the neck, whatever starts aggravating him again, and it looks like it might be something long-term, they might just want to let him go. Unfortunately, Leonard Williams has some dead money next year, which I'm going to go over in a little bit. But I don't see them, making a job. I don't know. There's a couple places they could go. Yeah, obviously would be trying to do something with the Leonard Williams contract and a Adoree Jackson contract. That's something they could go. But that would be something possibly kicking more money down the road. And I'm not sure if Joe Schoen want to do that. Seems like he might want to try to maybe clear the books as best as he can. The Giants continue to poke around some remaining free agents and could be in the market for an edge rusher. Yeah, which I'm going to go over in a little bit here. There's a couple guys out there. Now, we're not looking for, a Lawrence Taylor, because we got Azeez and we got Kayvon. If either one of them gets hurt, right, or God goodness forbid, both of them get injured, or if they've gone along and one needs a breather or something like that, and you can bring a third one in, more power to us, right? So, according to Over the Cap, the Giants are also carrying a $22.74 million in dead cap, which is the 15th most. So basically, they're right, right around the middle. Okay, they're still a long distance away from teams like Tampa Bay. Oh my goodness, which leads the NFL with $75.32 million in dead cap money. 75. What's it? What? 75. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think of it like this. Basically, 1/3 of their cap is dead money. Because you figure, right? 75.32. Multiply that by 3, right? Would be $226 million. The cap is 228. So basically 1/3 of their money is dead cap money this year. 1/3. Holy cow, Batman. Wow. So here's a look at the current and former Giants who are contributing to the $22.74 million in dead cap. And obviously, as I said, Kenny Golladay, right at the top, 14.74. You just kind of, it just, what's up, Teddy? Teddy. Terrence, what's up, Terrence? It is what it is. It's just, I don't know. It's just a shame. With Gettleman making that move. And then, of course, now that, this regime here can't seem to get any use or has no use or whatever Golladay, and they just wound up letting him go. I mean, it was just kind of funny. If like another regime or Joe Judge was still here, you can see maybe Kenny Golladay still being here, and he wouldn't be a dead cap. But it's almost $15 million in dead cap from one guy. And it's just, but that's goes to show you. That's the one that there's just when you get a new GM, when one GM gets fired and then another coach gets fired, you bring in another coach and you bring another GM in, and then that coach gets fired and you bring in another coach, and then that coach and that GM get fired and you bring in another coach with another. Stuff like this happens. The new coach and GM come in, they look, it's like, that's great. This guy's $20 million a year, but I ain't got no use. So what am I going to do with him? You know what I mean? That's why when Reese went, right, Reese and McAdoo wound up going, and then you brought Gettleman in with, So, you had Kaufman and Reese, and then McAdoo was here for 2 years. Then after McAdoo, McAdoo wasn't even here for 2 years. You had Steve Spagnuolo finished out the final 3 or 4 games of the 17 season. But you had McAdoo here for 2 years basically, and then Reese and McAdoo were gone. Then you bring Gettleman in, you got Shermer for 2 years, he's gone. You bring in Judge in for 2 years, he's gone. Gettleman and Judge are gone. Now you bring in Shane and Dable. That's the problem. And there's so many things involved, and then of course missing on some draft picks as well too. The DeAndre Baker, as I said, I brought this up in another video. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't. We probably shouldn't have been possibly maybe looking for for Mr. Banks, right, in the first round. Why? Well, because we had Eli Apple and DeAndre Baker, right? Apple's 2016. Still he might be a serviceable. If you pick a cornerback at number 10, guy should be pretty special, don't you think? So he would possibly right around now still be kind of. Maybe we could have taken Banks, but right, and you should have DeAndre should have Baker for years, right? And of course, when you miss out on some, your tackles, right? We should maybe have needed to worry about Evan Neal, because we should have Eric Flowers, right? He was 2015, right? But this is 2024. This would be 2023. This would be his 9th season, maybe, if my calculations are correct. 9th. Still be a tackle, right? And we'd have Andrew Thomas and so pick 5, we could have took Kayvon. Who could we have taken at pick 7 if we didn't need a tackle, right? So missing on a 3rd round pick, okay. Missing on a 4th and a 5th, okay. But man, especially missing on a top 10 pick, not that Eric Flowers was horrible, and he wound up being a serviceable guard, but number 9, wow. And then obviously trading up for DeAndre Baker. That wound up being, bad. But I'm saying it's just things like that. The coaches lasting 2 seasons, GMs lasting 4 seasons. Because then, how many moves did Gettleman make? He just kept bringing guys in and trade, and all. Then when he's gone and Shane comes in, he's like, oh my God, look at these, look at this team I got, So, just think of we have $14.7 million for Golladay, right? And I'm going to go over some of these, the free agents that are still out there. We could have a couple of nice free agents, and I said, I don't even know, right? What, you don't know, never going to know. You're always going to hear the politically correct answers, like about OBJ, right? Or Hopkins, right? Would they consider them? Shane and Dable maybe about bringing one of them in, but if we had $14.7 extra million from not from Golladay, So what else we got here? Of course, then Shepard's in there. And then, of course, Kadarius Toney's in there. Shep, 4.25. Nothing super tragic, but Kadarius Toney, he's in there. We're on the hook for 3.67 for him. Then after this, there's just a bunch of boatload of nickel and dime. I mean, TJ Brunson, we owe him $20,000. Tay Crowder, this stuff you can live with. Almost $19,000. I mean, this is, well, to me, I can use the 19. You want to give me 19 grand? I'm good with that any day. 2 ways to Tuesday. You can give me 19 grand all day long. But I'm saying in the scheme of the New York Giants organization, $19,000 is like a penny. That's like nothing. Austin Allen, what do we owe? 10 grand to Austin Allen. I mean, Yusuf Corker, 10,000. Zion Gilbert, 10 grand. Jeremiah Hall, 10. Defensive tackle Christopher Hinton, 10. Trenton Thompson, the defensive back, right? $8,334. Deshaun Corbin, 66.67. Darren Evans, 66.67. Antonio Williams, running back, 66.67. Jabari Ellis, $5 grand. Let's see here. Andre Miller, $1,667. Josh Revis, remember him? $1,667. Ryder Anderson, $1,334. So if you take out Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, and Kenny Golladay, let's just kind of quickly add this up really quick here. Let's make this. All right, 1,300, and then that's $3 grand. 46, 847. 47.97. So just say 10 grand. 10 grand. 17 grand. 24 grand. 24. Say 30 grand. 30. 38. 48. 58. 68. 78. 88. 88. 106. Say 107. Say 107. 107, 127. Yeah. All those other guys, about $125 million, $125,000 between all those other guys. So if you take out, I said Kadarius Toney, the 3 big guys, we would have like $125,000 in dead cap space. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? So if you take out Shepard, Kadarius Toney, and Kenny Golladay. But Kenny Golladay, 14.7. That's just that's the one that just kind of hit you right in the gut. All the other ones too. Oh, what's up, everyone? Evening. Good evening. Kadarius Toney and Shepard, that's a few million too, which you can certainly do something with that, obviously. But the Kenny Golladay, 14.7. Where are we at? Once again, here we go. All right, let's see here. Okay, so they got the top, this PFF here, and they got projected. Okay, they're just projected. That's all this is here, right? What they think a projected contract would be. Now they got Jadeveon. I'm an idiot. Jadeveon Clowney. I'm sorry. They have him here 1 year for $8 million. $7 million guaranteed. Now with him, he gets, he's obviously a freaky, what is he? He's only 30. It feels like he's been in the league for about 300 years. It's just like he seems like every year he's on a different team. But injuries. There's no doubting his physical capabilities, his freakish size and all of that, his ability, athleticism. No, there ain't no question in that. It's just a lot of injuries, So to give him $8 million, I don't know. If he would stay healthy, I can see that. But the problem, you're giving him $8 million, and he's going to be like a backup, Then of course there's Dalton Reisner, 4 years, $8 million a year. No, we ain't touching it. That ain't happening. We ain't bringing a guard in there for $8 million. That's not happening. Marcus Peters is still out there, $7 million a year. Now he's over 30, but he's familiar with Wink. Right? As a cornerback, the 30.4 would be your starting cornerback. I'm sure Banks and maybe Jackson, right? But Peters. Let me see. Can I pop that up? Does he pop up? Just trying to see if he played anything all in the slot or not. But somebody like him, he was certainly without question would give you some good, some definitely good experience without question. Let's see here. But once again, he's 30 years old now. Not somebody that they want to bring in here for. I don't think for long term. But then Ngakoue, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But just here they have projected here for Yannick Ngakoue, 2 years, $12.5 million a year. So basically, for a couple of years, be $25 million. Absolutely not. The guy can't play the run. He's just edge rusher, and he wouldn't be our starter. So you're going to pay some guy maybe even just say $10 million a year to have him on the sideline to back up Azeez and Kayvon. No, absolutely not. Now you got Leonard Floyd here. All right. He's 30. Looks like he'll be 31. Looks like soon, sometime this year, he'll be 31. So they got him at $8 million a year. Now, he's a backup, but once again, it's pretty much I think out of the question now. I'm just saying without the Kenny Golladay dead money, possibly Leonard Floyd would be somebody you could certainly look at. Melvin Ingram, the ageless one. Now there's a couple guys, him and Houston, Ingram and Houston. Both see the thing is, these are guys, that you bring in for like a year, and maybe you can replace them after a year, maybe in the draft. It'd be tough to replace them because these guys are good at with what they do. But, with their age, $4 million a year, that's something you can certainly swing. Justin Houston and or Melvin Ingram, bring them in, backups to back up, Kayvon or Azeez. I like it. Because that's one of the questions, that we have is that, who's going to make it on the final 53? Is Baldonado going to make it? I said, you got Tolman Fox, Hottie, Ellison Smith, the X-Man, Ximines, Baldonado. Who are these guys? Who's going to make it on the final 53? Any of them really stand out that somebody, Azeez goes down, say he gets injured again. Is there somebody there you can just put in there and you're going to get some production out of? But I'd say, I said, Ingram and Houston wouldn't be bad. It's backup for edge. Taylor Lewan. Nah, it's not. I'm not bringing a tackle in here. Frank Clark, right? He'll be 30. Okay, he spent obviously time with the Chiefs. They got him at 1 year, $6.5 million. That wouldn't be bad. Beef up the edge. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be a bad pickup at all. Kyle Vanoy, I don't know. He's 33. I don't know. Then there's a bunch of other guys. Matt Ioannidis, defensive lineman. Amos, he's a safety, was with the Packers. $6.25 million. I'm not sure if we're going to be bringing in, anybody as far as like a, I can't say he's going out there and spending money, big time on a safety at all or anything like that. But, without that Kenny Golladay, you could certainly see where without question, we could bring in have an edge rusher, bring in another edge rusher. Or as I said, you don't know what Shane, if they would even really think about bringing in Hopkins or OBJ. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of plus to both of them, but there's also sometimes some baggage that comes with him. OBJ is being injured a lot. Sometimes he's a little bit of a diva. Not sure if that's what Shane or Dave will want to bring in here. That's the right culture that they want to bring in here. Hopkins, guy's got hands like Spider-Man. Throw the ball in a zip code and he's bringing it down. Doesn't necessarily maybe get a lot of separation, but sometimes you read sometimes, and right. Doesn't like to practice. Sometimes when things aren't going well, maybe he starts souring a little bit. Is that somebody they want to bring in here into the culture? You don't know. Obviously, you're never gonna know. But I mean, if we had that extra money, so I mean, that's what that dead money. It'll get you. Now next year, the Giants have we got some dead money next year. It's not quite the 23 or 24 we have this year, but Leonard Williams, we're on the hook for him for almost $6 million next year. That's why, like, another thing would be like if we were to extend his contract, maybe we could eat that $6 million in dead cap money next season, right? So it wouldn't be dead cap. So we would have Leonard Williams next year, and we can maybe eat that, put that money, however, into the contract. Maybe take his cap hit this year, lower it, right? And give ourselves some extra cap room. But, I mean, Shane has a plan, and I'm sure that the less money he's kicking down the road, because once again, I think with that money, I think with the Leonard Williams contract at $6 million, I think that was on the books already when Shane came in here. And I'm not sure if he wants to do anything else with that. Maybe he'll kick it even farther down or whatever. So I think he might be just letting that go. Let's see. Then we have, who else we got? We got Adoree Jackson next season. We're on the hook for him for $3 million, almost $3 million, 2.984 next year. Once again, that's something, it doesn't, I'm not sure if Shane wants to, touch that Adoree Jackson's contract. I'm not sure if Adoree, they're going to be bringing Adoree back. To wait and see. But so we got 6? We have, like 8.75 or so, somewhere around there in dead money next year between Leonard Williams and Adoree Jackson. Then we got Mark Glowinski. If we were to cut him pre-June, right, we would save $5.7 million. His cap hit next year is 7.2. Cut him. It says here pre-June, June 1st. We'll save $5.7 million. So there's a good chance Mark Lewinsky could be bye-bye next year. We'll have $1.5 million in dead cap. All right. Tyrod Taylor. He's 1.4 in dead cap money. So basically there's like 11.5, I'm going to say somewhere around there, between Tyrod, Glowinski, Adoree Jackson, and Leonard Williams. 11. So it's about half of what we got. Then there's, let me say, Graham Gano. He's on the 876,000. Who else we got here? Is there anybody else? Jamie, no, let's see. Evan Robinson, Joshua Zuda, Quill Flott, Schmitz, Belton Hyde. I thought there was somebody else. DJ Dave Pinnock, Tobin Fox, McKeithen, Darian Beavers, Owens, not Johnson. No. Well, of course, some of this. Well, some of them. I mean, like Jamon Green. If we were to cut him, we owe him $13,000. If I hope not, if we were to let go of Bryce Ford Wheaton, once again, I hope not. Because there's a potential there. We owe him $13,000. If we let Baldonado go, we owe him $10,000. If we were, we were to cut Troy Brown, we owe him $6,600. I mean, if Tommy DeVito were to go, $6,600. Right? So, I mean, there's a lot of guys. Cameron Lyons, we would let him go, we owe him $2,000. I mean, so a lot of these guys, we would let a lot of these guys go, we owe them like nothing. Really nothing. I mean, you can some of these guys at the bottom of the roster, if we were to let a bunch of these guys go, you add them all up, wouldn't even be $100,000. Okay. But so the guys we do have, all right, we got Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson, possibly Mark Lewinsky, Tyrod Taylor, and Graham Gano. Right. So it's about $12.5 million, somewhere around there, which is in dead cap money. So it's about 5 guys next year. And I said, you don't know Graham Gano. I mean, if he has another great season, I don't know why you would want to bring him back. Right. I said, if I could see Glowinski going, once again, I don't know why you wouldn't want to bring maybe Tyrod back. I mean, good quality backup quarterback, especially if you don't have if Danny DeVito doesn't work out and you're still looking for somebody to develop. You just can't let Tyrod go. I mean, unless he wants to retire or go someplace else or whatever. But I mean, if you can bring Tyrod back, I would bring him back. So I said, especially if Tommy DeVito does not look, like he's the real deal. So, but since there's maybe 5 guys next year, so the dead cap money next year is about $10 million less as of right now. We have 12 to 13 million in dead cap next year. So this year we're 23, but of course 14 of it was Kenny Golladay. So, but it just goes to show you. I mean, with the dead money, how many other free agents we could have brought in. But then once again, it just goes to show you, hitting on your draft picks, but hitting on your, writing these big checks to these big guys. If for some reason you just don't, they don't work out or whatever, you let them go, and $10, $15 million. It's like, especially that 1 year, and just this 1 year coming up. I mean, you could bring in easily 2 good, solid free agents with that amount of money. Easily 2 good. 14, you gotta like spend 6 on one guy, 6 on another guy. You can bring in some couple good quality players, but you can't because, I mean, there are other ways of doing it, but a lot of it would involve, pushing money down the road. And Shane probably doesn't seem like he wants to do that. I don't blame him, right? I mean, if we can, wash our hands of these guys, wash our hands of their contracts and everything going forward, So we do have a little bit of dead money next year, but the cap is going to rise next year. And as of right now, the dead cap is that we have next year is gone down at least $10 million. So that's good. Then we have OTA number 8. It's in the books. Now there's offense and defense. I was getting involved here. So the Giants had their second straight day with an OTA before holding their final sessions on Thursday and Friday. So they're off tomorrow. After a morning rain. Yeah, I actually had some rain there. First time in a couple of weeks I actually had rain there. I'm in South Jersey. So the sun came out, dried the fields, and set the stage for another beautiful day with the temperatures in the 70s. Before and in between the competitive 7-on-7 periods, the Giants continued to work on fundamentals. No contact is allowed, but the linemen can still work on their eyes and technique to make sure that they are working together and heading in the right direction. Every day, the quarterbacks work with their coaches and the running backs to perfect their execution on the various play fakes, RPOs, and read options that the Giants have in their offense. Coaches make sure each practice features a walkthrough period where the team can work on run plays. It is about the mental part of the game, and the players are all moving in the right direction with the right timing. Now it says, the defense got their hands on some balls today. Defense, say Javarius Owens, good. Flash coverage skills throughout the month and knocked away another pass. Cordell Flott and Trey Hawkins also had pass breakups. Deonte Banks showed off his speed, tracking down and knocking away a deep ball sailing over the top. Xavier McKinney not only knocked away a pass late in practice, he also picked an early pass. And Amani Oruwariye had an interception on his own that could have been returned for a touchdown. That's good to hear because I mean, obviously I haven't been there all the time. Obviously I haven't been there at all, but just what I've been hearing, Amani Oruwariye hasn't been looking too spectacular. So this interception certainly helped his cause out. But once again, nobody's making the team or nobody's getting cut, from the team in these OTAs. That'll come in July. And so the offense had their moments in practice too. Lawrence Cager and David Sills had touchdowns along with Jaden Mickens during the initial 7-on-7 periods. In the later competitive period, Daniel Jones hit Darius Slayton to close practice. Jalen Hyatt tiptoed on the back line and caught a touchdown. Now, when what was it? Big Blue Kickoff Live, I think that's what it's called. Paul Dottino, he was out there. He was watching. And he brought up the fact, he said, and he was there with Howard Cross, and Howard likes to downplay everything. I guess in a way, it's understandable. So Howard kind of likes to bring everybody back down to earth, I guess, a little bit. But Paul Dottino pointed out, he said, anytime Daniel Jones has thrown a pass, not just today, but pretty much in the OTAs, throwing anything to Waller or Campbell, it's caught. Now, so then, Paul Dottino brought that up to Howard Cross, and Howard Cross kind of, he's I don't want to say Nancy negativity, but, I guess maybe he keeps everything real. He also said, well, you're running around in he's either pajamas or underwear. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's pajamas. He's like, you're running around in their pajamas with just helmets on. You're supposed to catch the ball. So don't get too excited. But Paul Dottino's been there for 40 years, so he's he's excited. So Paul Dottino's excited. I'm excited. I guess Paul Dottino gets sometimes a little more excited. Howard Cross is kind of Nancy negativity. So between the two of them, they balance each other out, I guess. But Paul Dottino's been there, I think, since like 83. So he's been there for like 40 years. He's seen a lot of players. He's seen a lot. Holy cow. So, but for him to get excited about Paris, not only the speed with Paris Campbell, but the connection apparently. Daniel Jones has with Waller, Daniel Jones has with Campbell, Daniel Jones has with Slayton. Hopefully, he's working on that with Hyatt. But just to say he said he loves the hands of Campbell and Waller, so that's good to hear. We may not have our number one dog wide receiver, but we get Sterling. If we get Saquon back with Waller there and the plethora of wide receivers we got, things are certainly looking a lot better this year. That's for sure. Yeah. And Daniel Jones should throw more than 15 touchdown passes as long as he stays healthy, of course. Well, guys, it's been 37 minutes. Teddy, Terrence, and D3C3P Shun. Good talking to you guys. Thank you. So whoever spends any time watching it at all, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. You can use all the support I can get, guys. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.